From WBKO, your hometown news leader, this is 13 News at 4.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on 13 News at 4. I'm Lauren Hansen.
And Chief Meteorologist Shane Hollandy. You have a nice Easter, Lauren?
Yes, we had a great Easter, and it was gorgeous outside, so the kids got to go out, run around, play, work off some of that energy, so it was a good day all around.
Yeah, a great day for egg hunts, great day to be outside with the family, you name it, and the weather cooperated. And it's been cooperative again today with warm temperatures continuing as the new week begins, the first full week of April, although it's going to feel a little bit more like May outside, at least for the next couple of days before a storm system arrives that will bring us a pretty good chance for rain by Wednesday night. Between now and then, though, we're talking about unseasonably warm temperatures. We've got them today. We went well above average beginning yesterday, in fact, and today we easily made the 70s across the board. We've got a shot, at least an outside chance of hitting 80 the next couple of days before a good chance for rain arrives, and that will be, I think, beginning late Wednesday evening into Wednesday night, and also a possibility for some rain lingering into Thursday, and then we'll have an early check, of course, at the upcoming weekend. Temperatures are ramping back up. Remember, late last week, it was chilly, only 47 for a high last Thursday for the first day of April. Lows were in the 20s for a couple of nights. And then over the weekend, we saw warming to 64 Saturday and all the way into the 70s. In fact, 72 was the official high on Easter Sunday. So that was good warming indeed. Mammoth Cave right now with a reading of 74 and sunshine there. Bear River Lake with the same. You could not ask for a much nicer afternoon there to be out on a boat near Narrows Marina. 78 currently for Louisville. Evansville pushing 80. So is Nashville there at 78. Paducah's at 75. In fact, readings all across the board here in the 70s on this Monday afternoon. And we're warmer now than we were on Easter Sunday by some 5 degrees. Southwesterly wind, a big reason for that. Wind in here sustained around 13. Of course, keep in mind that fire danger, spring fire season, well underway right now, so should not be any brush burning going on at least through 6 p.m. Once we get beyond that point, relative humidities begin to climb. We're not under a red flag warning today, but just something to bear in mind. Showers from lower Michigan extending down into central and northern parts of Ohio around Columbus, up I-71 toward Cleveland. Showers too approaching Pittsburgh, but all that is going on well to our northeast tonight with a warm front situated there. Look at these temperatures across the northern plains. It's actually warmer in Sioux Falls, South Dakota right now than it is here. They are 88 degrees, but you go just to the northwest of there and you find 60s in Bismarck. That's our next storm system now positioned over the plains. This is the one that will arrive Wednesday night and will send some cooler air our way toward the end of this week. But in the meantime, the warmth is what we're enjoying. The sunshine, too. I'll let you know how long we'll hang on to that sun coming up in the 7-day forecast, first at 4 in just a few minutes. Lauren?
Thanks so much, Shane. First at 4 today, Kentucky opened vaccinations to any Kentuckians 16 and older, beating President Biden's timeline by 1 month. U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell visited the UK healthcare vaccine site at Kroger Field, which has now administered more than 200,000 vaccines. They average 4,000 shots every day. Senator McConnell says it's an impressive number.
And we witnessed a modern medical miracle in our country. Not one, not two, not three. 3 effective vaccines in under a year. 3 of them in under a year. I didn't realize, Mark, until we got into all of this, that the flu vaccine was only 50% effective. 2 of these vaccines, one of which they're using here at Kroger Field, the Pfizer, is 90% effective. I believe that's true of one of the other vaccines as well, and the other one over 70% effective. A modern medical miracle.
He urged Americans, particularly Republican men who've been reluctant to get the vaccine, to get the shot in order to achieve herd immunity. We'll hear more from Senator McConnell on 13 News at 5. Governor Andy Beshear said last week ended the state's 12-week decline in COVID-19 cases. He said there were 299 new cases of the virus on Sunday, 5 new deaths, and 9 deaths from the audit. He also reported 83 cases of the B117 COVID-19 variant in Kentucky, including 10 in Allen County, 2 in Barron, 1 in Logan, 1 in Simpson, and 2 in Warren County. The governor also announced that fully vaccinated Kentuckians are no longer being asked to limit domestic travel. However, he says masks and other safety protocols should still be followed when traveling. Now to the latest on the coronavirus across the nation. As Marcy Gonzalez reports, the number of new COVID-19 cases keeps rising, and what's described as a new double mutant variant has now been discovered in the U.S.
Growing concerns about a possible 4th wave of COVID-19 in this country after a variant that carries 2 mutations of the virus was discovered in the San Francisco area. The double mutant variant may have originated in India, though scientists say there is still more to learn, and it's not yet clear if the variant is spreading here.
Overall, mutations will build up as we have more transmission in the community. And, the concern is these mutations lead to more contagiousness. This is why getting that vaccine out right now is so critical.
The White House says nearly 1 in 4 adults in the U.S. have now been fully vaccinated. But experts warn that despite evidence showing fully vaccinated people may not transmit the virus, everyone should still take precautions.
The worst thing we could do right now would be to mistake progress for victory.
If you have unvaccinated people mingling, I do worry about another surge. That's what we've seen after every holiday.
This Easter holiday weekend, more than 6 million people passed through TSA security checkpoints. The record number of travelers, one sign of a transition towards normalcy, even as the number of coronavirus cases in the U.S. climbs, up 20% in the last 2 weeks. COVID restrictions now being relaxed in Pennsylvania and Los Angeles, while in Texas, the Rangers welcoming a packed stadium for its home opener, the only major league ballpark in the country opening at full capacity.
The team's CEO defending the decision, saying despite Texas lifting restrictions on businesses, they've put safety protocols in place, including requiring fans to wear masks. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And we'll have a look at how many children have lost a parent to COVID-19 a little bit later at 4. Delta, Coke, and several other blue chip companies criticizing the new voting legislation in Georgia. And now the governor speaking out against what he calls cancel culture. Today, Major League Baseball still holding firm, saying this year's All-Star game will not take place in Atlanta. This after Georgia Governor Brian Kemp signed into law several voting restrictions. Critics say the impact of the laws will be to limit voting access, especially to Black residents. Executives from Dow, PayPal, Uber, Lyft, Estee Lauder, Under Armour, and more are sending a unified message to Republicans in state houses across the country, writing, elections are not improved when lawmakers impose barriers that result in longer lines at the polls or that reduce access to secure ballot drop boxes. Today, pushback from Minority Leader Mitch McConnell.
My advice to the corporate CEOs of America is to stay out of politics.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott tweeting his dismay with the MLB, saying he'll no longer throw out the first pitch at the Texas Rangers game, saying there's a false narrative about Georgia's election laws. Meanwhile, Georgia's governor accusing baseball of caving to fear, pointing out that the new law expands early voting with more days of early voting in Georgia than in New York. And you just heard from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. He also released a statement regarding voting laws in Georgia, saying the president's remarks comparing the laws to Jim Crow are disinformed. 13 News asked Congressman Brett Guthrie his opinion on voting laws. He says he believes the federal government shouldn't dictate what states do.
I don't know the Georgia law does know what the president said was equivalent to Jim Crow in the past. I do support voter ID laws. I think that people it should be easy to vote. But we should know that the people are voting are registered to vote and they have the right ID.
Congressman Guthrie says he believes ballot harvesting opens up the door for fraud. Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles applauded the 2021 Kentucky High School Athletic Association and Kentucky Department of Agriculture Ag Athletes of the Year. Austin Randolph of Muhlenberg County and Annika Reed of Metcalfe County were both named Outstanding Ag Athlete of the Year. Each was awarded a $2,000 scholarship. The 2021 Ag Athletes of the Year were named at a ceremony during the KHS AA Boys Sweet 16 State Basketball Tournament in Lexington. Recently, there have been several structure fires in Bowling Green. On March 12th, the Bowling Green Fire Department responded to a house fire on Kentucky Street, the cause unknown. 3 weeks ago, on March 19th, a fire was reported at a home on 12th Street. No injuries were reported, but the home suffered significant damage. This past Friday, the fire department responded to a structure fire on Park Street, where no injuries were reported. And just yesterday, the department also responded to a house fire, this one on Clay Street. With the surge in fires, 13 News asked the fire department if there was any connection between them.
Bowling Green Fire Department has responded to several residential structure fires here lately. At this time, they're also under investigation, and there's no concern about them being related at this time. With the seasons changing, it's a good time to always check your smoke alarm, make sure it's working, make sure you have fresh batteries in there. If you're going to go out and grill, just make sure that there's a safe distance between your grill and your home. Just little details like that.
The fire department says it could be a while before the investigation turns up anything.
Well, the primary goal is that you want to keep yourself safe as an officer, and you also want to keep the community safe.
The Derek Chauvin trial turns its focus to the former officer's training. Details are straight ahead.
Easter sunrises are always beautiful. Easter sunsets are too. And this is a picture of one taken yesterday over in Logan County in the Bucksville community by Erica Hubb. Submitted to our website, WBKO.com/photos. And you can do the same for any pictures from your backyard, just like this one. And there's a good picture over Scottsville Road of the traffic waiting for the green light there at Gary Farms Boulevard. Up ahead, we have blue skies, just a few very high thin cirrus clouds floating through. And that's about it on this Monday afternoon. There's Doppler Max showing it dry, and that's the way it will stay into our Monday evening with temperatures all in the 70s on those Mesonet sites. 72 for Munfordville. Greenville's a warm spot at 78. Bowling Green right in the middle at 75 degrees. If you like it warm, you're certainly going to love the next couple of days. There's a chance we could make 80 degrees. We'll look at your 7-day in just a bit.
Today begins week 2 in the Derek Chauvin murder trial. As Andrea Fujii reports, the Minneapolis police chief taking the stand as the prosecution builds his case against the former police officer.
The jury hearing testimony from the Minneapolis police chief in charge at the time of George Floyd's death. He explained the importance of the department's de-escalation policy, how to defuse a tense situation rather than use force. The prosecution showing Officer Chauvin's signature on that policy manual.
Well, the primary goal is that you want to keep yourself safe as an officer, and you also want to keep the community safe. If you could talk your way out of a situation to de-escalate where it didn't have to result in physical force, those are things you certainly utilize.
Chauvin faces manslaughter, second-degree murder, and third-degree murder charges in George Floyd's death. The prosecution has argued the former police officer knelt on Floyd's neck for nearly 9.5 minutes, causing his death. The Hennepin County Medical Center emergency room doctor, who tried to revive Floyd but later pronounced him dead, testified Floyd's heart had stopped by the time he arrived at the hospital.
Any amount of time that a patient spends in cardiac arrest without immediate CPR markedly decreases the chance of a good outcome.
Was your leading theory then for the cause of Mr. Floyd's cardiac arrest oxygen deficiency?
That was one of the more likely possibilities.
And doctor, is there another name for death by oxygen deficiency?
Asphyxia is a commonly understood term.
The defense then arguing the fentanyl and meth found in Floyd's system contributed to his death. Dr. Langenfeld agreed.
Drug use. Certain drugs can cause hypoxia. Agreed? Yes. Specifically fentanyl?
That's correct.
How about methamphetamine?
It can.
Combination of the two?
Yes.
Chauvin has pled not guilty to all of the charges. The trial is expected to last another 2 to 3 weeks. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
We're learning more about the man police say rammed a car into a barricade at the U.S. Capitol on Friday, killing a police officer. The family of the suspect, Noah Green, says he suffered from depression and head trauma after repeated blows to the head from football. The acting Capitol Police Chief says her officers are still reeling from Friday's chaos after 25-year-old Noah Green was accused of ramming into a barricade at the U.S. Capitol, killing 18-year veteran of the Capitol Police, Billy Evans, and injuring officer Ken Shaver.
Billy died a hero's death, and it wasn't something he was looking for, and we certainly would much rather have him with us.
Detectives are searching for motives, and they're now turning to Green's social media days before the incident. Sources telling ABC News police have been focusing on his Facebook post where he shared stories about losing his job and being in a state of duress. The Capitol Police Union urging Congress to ramp up security around the Capitol. The National Guard will remain at the Capitol for now.
First Alert Weather, sponsored by MedCenter Health.
Fine follow-up to our Easter weekend for sure. We've seen some high clouds wander in here this afternoon, but all told, weather-wise, we're doing great, and it is a warm Monday afternoon indeed, with temperatures all in the 70s across the board for Glasgow, Campbellsville both at 75, with plenty of sunshine and some high clouds. Madisonville at 78, Hopkinsville at 76 degrees, and same temperature over in Allen County right now with just a few high clouds overhead. Columbia with sunshine, it is currently 74 degrees there in Adair County. 1 degree better over in Morgantown. A beautiful afternoon in progress. Your temperature reads 75. We will fall only to around 50 for a low tonight with nothing more than some high clouds drifting through. Here is Feature Max starting you out with 6:30 tomorrow morning. We do find a little bit more in the way of cloudiness tomorrow, but otherwise still a mostly sunny afternoon. I wouldn't be shocked if a few places touch 80 degrees Tuesday afternoon for the first time this year. Officially, we've been as warm as 77 today in Bowling Green, and forecasting 79 tomorrow, but still warm any way you slice it and dice it. If we've got a better shot at 80, it could actually be Wednesday, even though we will have some more cloudiness in here. We'll have a strong south flow ahead of a storm system approaching for Wednesday night. There could be an isolated shower or thunder shower out ahead of this one Wednesday afternoon, but I think the bulk of the rain with this approaching system gets here Wednesday night. It could be fairly widespread rain at that. A couple of strong thunderstorms can't be ruled out with gusty winds, maybe some small hail. Right now, I'm not anticipating any severe weather in our immediate area. And then on Friday, we dry out before another system arrives on Saturday with a good chance for showers and storms to begin the upcoming weekend. That's followed by drying conditions on Sunday. Temperatures will stay in the 70s as long as the sun is out this evening, falling into the 60s afterward, and then only upper 50s even as late as midnight tonight. It'll stay mild with a low temperature down around 50 degrees. 79 tomorrow with mostly sunny skies. 55 your low tomorrow night, up to 80 on Wednesday. There's a chance either of the next 2 days we could make that mark. A chance for also some showers and storms late on Wednesday. More widespread rain arriving Wednesday night. Sticking around into Thursday. High temperatures a little cooler there, not cold by any means. Low 70s, and we bounce back to 76 on Friday. A good chance for rain, as we mentioned, Saturday, and then Sunday looks dry. Highs there low to mid 70s, overnight lows back to the 50s after being 60 Wednesday night, and a cooler 48 showing up on Saturday night. But no threat for frost or freeze anytime real soon. Know the weather by downloading the First Alert weather app for your iPhone or your Android. Lauren?
Thanks, Shane. Whether you lost your job or took a pay cut, a lot of folks are hurting financially during the pandemic. If that's you, Investigate TV's Rachel DePompa has some advice from the experts in this Watching Your Wallet.
If you are still struggling to figure out how you will pay the rent or where your next meal will come from, you are not alone. According to a recent NerdWallet study, 42% of Americans say their financial situation got worse in the pandemic. Cherry Dale, a financial coach with the Virginia Credit Union, says it is so important to recognize you need help and to ask for it.
To make sure you're maximizing your network of support. So reach out to your local nonprofit agencies, the food bank, the United Way.
It may be something you never saw yourself doing, but it's okay to need help and to ask for it. Using more than one food bank when available is smart because you may be able to get something at one that you can't get at another. Show up early if you can to be the first in line so you can get the items you need, and make sure you bring the documentation you need when you do go. With this Investigate TV Watching Your Wallet, I'm Rachel DePompa.
This next story might make you a little bit jealous. LinkedIn is giving nearly its entire company the week off. That includes employees all around the world, and they still get paid. The idea is to prevent burnout. LinkedIn wants its workers to use the time to unplug and recharge. Also, since almost everyone has the same week off, they won't have to deal with the normal hassle of digging through accumulated emails after vacation. The company says it started noticing signs of burnout as the pandemic wore on. A new model illustrates how long we'll feel the impact of COVID-19. Researchers say nearly 40,000 children under the age of 18 have lost a parent to the disease. That number does not include non-parental caregivers. The data is based on statistical modeling and is not a survey or administrative data. It also shows Black children have been disproportionately affected. They make up 14% of children in the U.S., but 20% of those who've lost a parent to COVID. The report was published in the JAMA Pediatrics Medical Journal. The CDC reports more than 3.4 million doses of coronavirus vaccine were administered on Easter Sunday. That's a large number, but it didn't top Saturday's all-time record of more than 4 million shots in arms in a single day. But it means now that 32% of Americans have received at least one dose of the vaccine. The CDC says about 19% or 61 million people have been fully vaccinated as of Sunday, and all about 165 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine have now been administered in the U.S. to date. Do you have a story idea or something you feel we should cover? There's an easy way to send it to us. Just head over to WBCO.com and click Submit a Story. We'll be right back.
Today, officially our warmest day of the year thus far in Bowling Green, topping out at 77. I think we could do a notch or two better tomorrow. Under mostly sunny skies, up to 66 by 10 a.m., mid-70s by 1 o'clock, shooting for a high of 79, but 80 is not out of the question for Bowling Green or other parts of the area tomorrow afternoon. And I like an even better chance at hitting the 80-degree mark, Lauren, on Wednesday.
All right, we'll take that nice weather. Thanks so much, Shane. And thanks for joining us on 13 News at 4. More local news coming your way in just 30 minutes at 5.
I mean, you can't get a hamburger the way they fix it in here.
Dovey's is the best place to get cheeseburgers.
A line out the door as a popular Tompkinsville restaurant reopens for the first time since the pandemic.
From WBKO, your hometown news leader, this is 13 News at 4.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on WBKO News at 4. I'm Lauren Hansen.
And Chief Meteorologist Shane Holiday. Well, after a stormy weekend, Lauren, which we had severe weather Saturday, a lot of clouds yesterday. Today, it's back to that familiar kind of dog days pattern. We've got more sun, still plenty of humidity, and the pop-up variety showers and storms this go around.
Yes, wash, rinse, repeat. We're seeing that pattern once again, and you can really feel the air outside when you walk out there.
Yeah, still plenty muggy, and it's going to remain this way for the next several days, although rain chances will actually decline somewhat as we move toward midweek. As those rain chances decline, however, temperatures are really going to be on the upswing, especially by Wednesday into Thursday. A breakdown of the pattern for you here. Showers and storms are still a possibility scattered about into this evening as we check out what's new now and next. Temperatures, they're going to be warming up. By Wednesday and Thursday, I think we'll be approaching 90 again. We'll look into that, plus an early check at the upcoming weekend in just a moment. Right now, Doppler Max HD showing quite a few showers and storms across the area. They're not exactly widespread. They're hit and miss in nature again this afternoon. Closer examination showing the rain around Litchfield. Pretty heavy there in Grayson County. That is moving into western parts of Hardin County near Ronnieville is one heavy shower. Showers too around Munfordville, heading toward Bonneville, kind of moving right along I-65 and 31W. More rain too affecting Woodbury over toward Morgantown and Butler County. This action lifting on off to the northeast. Showers too over the Cumberland Plateau of Tennessee, happening east of Nashville, lifting northward and may catch areas like Tompkinsville as well as Burkesville and Albany in the next little while. There is a marginal risk, this level 1 out of 5, for a couple of storms that could be on the strong side side this evening. If storms do approach severe limits, locally damaging wind gusts would be the main threat. But keep in mind that is not an organized threat for this evening, and we do not have an alert day up this go round. 84 in Bowling Green. Up the road, Louisville's at 85, while it is a humid 81 up in Evansville, Indiana. And I say humid because look at these dew points running mainly in the upper 60s to low 70s. Air that you wear kind of weather once again. And with the mugginess, it feels closer to 90 right now in Bowling Green, even though temperatures themselves are not really all that hot this afternoon. Here's AAA Systems live weather cam. We can see some towering cumulus clouds off in the distance here, but for now in Bowling Green, we have a mixture of sun and clouds. Look at Litchfield, the downpour ongoing there downtown. 73 degrees, rain, cooled air in the vicinity. It's also raining around Munfordville, as we mentioned. You're now at 82 degrees. Meanwhile, where it's not raining, it's a good bit warmer. Russellville, under mostly sunny skies. You can see the wet streets left over from rain that moved through earlier. You're currently at 80 degrees over in Logan County. If you notice the radar satellite scope here, we've got a broad spin in the atmosphere right over Illinois. That's where low pressure resides. And there are a number of showers and storms along that feature right now, which is going to take its sweet time moving through the Ohio Valley. Still plenty of warm, moist air direct from the Gulf of Mexico with that south to southwest wind out ahead of this system, which is going to roll through on Tuesday and may decrease our rain chances, as we mentioned, as we head toward Wednesday. Although the humidity does not go away entirely, we're going to look into that, plus temperatures and more possibilities for showers and storms in that 7-day first at 4 in just a few minutes. Lauren?
All right, thanks so much, Shane. A big question in Tompkinsville today. How do you want your burger, squeezed or unsqueezed? As a Kentucky staple is opening again for the first time in over a year. Dovey's opened in 1938. They shut down due to the pandemic. Today was their 4th day back open for business, and they were sold out of burgers by noon. They're making about 850 burgers a day, not including hot dogs, chicken, and bologna.
I can remember Daddy saying, well, why don't you get up there and go get us some Dovey burgers on a Saturday morning? He's like, you better get up there before 10 or you won't ever get in. And it's still the same. You better have to start in before 10 o'clock or you might not get in.
Dovey's opens at 8:30 each morning. Workers suggest getting there early if you want a burger before they're sold out. County clerk offices statewide have been experiencing technical difficulties for days due to state system outages. County clerks use a statewide system to process transactions such as vehicle registrations, transfers, and vehicle titling. The state has worked on the issue since last week, and the Barron County clerk says it's actually worse on Monday.
You can still come in if you need any services involving our recordings department. For example, lots of folks are still trying to get marriage license this time of year. Obviously, we can still issue marriage license. We can still do recordings for deeds or properties. If you have a delinquent property tax that you would like to pay,
you can contact your local clerk's office to confirm their hours of operation and to get the latest on the system update. A Bowling Green City Commissioner becomes the new Director of Community Impact for United Way of Southern Kentucky. Melinda Hill will be responsible for achieving community change goals while also developing effective partnerships to support those goals. She'll also oversee the fund distribution process. Former WKU and NFL football coach is sharing his memories of WKU Athletics Hall of Famer and All-American center David Carter, who passed away over the weekend at the age of 67. Romeo Crennel's journey to the NFL head coach began as a walk-on at WKU in 1965. Carter was a 4-year starter for the Hilltoppers from 1973 to 76 and was inducted into the WKU Athletics Hall of Fame in 1996. Crennel says Carter was a strong athlete and a dependable man on and off the field.
Some of the things that impressed me at that time was I just felt like that he was a solid individual. All right, felt like he was a solid individual. I thought he had toughness. He was dependable. Could kind of depend on the guy, and then he was athletic for the position. Because sometimes centers are not athletic, but he was athletic.
Crennel became the NFL's Houston Texans' new defensive coordinator, a city where Carter played in the NFL. Over the years, the two reconnected and shared memories from WKU. Kentucky State Police went to a call of possible skeletal remains found in a cave in Barron County on Heisville Bear Wallow Road in Cave City. The remains were then taken to the medical examiner's office in Louisville for identification purposes, and the investigation is ongoing. The Logan County Sheriff's Office needs help finding Desiree Remore and her 18-month-old daughter, Harley Ray Remore, who were last seen in Logan County on July 8th. Desiree has brown hair and blue eyes. She stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighs 150 pounds. Harley is an 18-month-old girl with blue eyes and red hair. The Sheriff's Office says Desiree fled with Harley to an unknown location in an attempt to avoid being arrested on felony warrants for wanton endangerment first degree and endangering a minor. If anyone has any information where Desiree and Harley may be, you can call the Logan County Sheriff's Office at 270-726-2244 or dispatch at 270-726-4911.
In many ways killing each other like flies, and that is not the way it was meant to be.
Gun violence across the country and how the Biden administration is trying to tackle it.
Doesn't mean we stop there. They continue. I mean, there are studies being done now, ongoing as we speak, about looking at the feasibility about if and when we should be boosting people.
Plus, a little bit later at 4, a look at if a booster vaccine is needed for COVID-19.
You're watching 13 News at 4.
The Sunday sunset was gorgeous over in Logan County in the community of Auburn. Makes our pick of the day sent to us by Steve Metzger. You can submit your shot to WBKO.com/photos. Hot off the presses from the National Weather Service out of Louisville, a flood advisory. This goes for western Hardin and also much of central parts of Grayson counties until 7:15 Central or 8:15 Eastern Daylight Time. Got some heavy thunderstorms moving through that area of Grayson County, lifting out of Litchfield, moving right over Big Clifty, heading into western Hardin County. These could put down easily a couple of inches of rain over a short period of time, so be aware of water rises in those favored low-lying spots. Meanwhile, in Bowling Green, we're dry with a mix of sun and clouds here. Pollen count today, pollen pretty well washed out by all the rain we've had lately. It's low at a 1.4. UV index high at a 6. The AQI index low at a 28. Temperatures not as hot. Of course, it is humid and it does feel warmer than the lower 80s in Bowling Green. We've got 82, 81 up the road in E-Town, 73 where it has been raining in Litchfield. We'll have another look at the shower and thunderstorm activity and your 7-day in just a few.
Thanks so much, Shane. In Washington, President Biden is strategizing with the U.S. Attorney General about ways to reduce gun crimes across the country. As Faith Abube reports, the two met today with a group of experts at the White House.
President Biden building relationships with local leaders as his administration tackles gun violence across the country.
We recognize that we have to come together to fulfill the first responsibility of democracy. That's to keep each other safe.
Joining the president for Monday's meeting, Biden's Attorney General Merrick Garland, local elected officials, police chiefs, and a community-based violence intervention expert. The discussion revolving around using funds awarded to states in the American Rescue Plan to support public safety improvements.
We know there are some things that work, and the first of those that works is stemming the flow of firearms used to commit violent crimes.
So far this year, guns have claimed more than 23,000 American lives and counting.
Over here.
Just days after a gunman opened fire on 2 federal agents and a Chicago police officer, this weekend, 11 people killed, 40 shot in the Windy City. The alarming surge in gun violence rising across the country with the summer heat.
This problem cannot be ignored.
In Seattle, the gun crimes forcing their way into a church this spring. A 19-year-old with a baby on the way shot and killed inside the house of worship.
In many ways killing each other like flies, and that is not the way it was meant to be.
And this is going to help prevent crime and support young people to pick up a paycheck instead of a pistol.
And on Capitol Hill, a bill to close loopholes in gun sales passed the House but has stalled in the Senate. It's unlikely we'll see any meaningful action on it this year. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
First Alert Weather, sponsored by MedCenter Health.
Shane, after a rainy weekend, it's a hot and humid day out there.
Yeah, hot for most, humid for everybody, rainy for some. It's back to the scattered showers and storms today. Hit and miss variety once again, and expect this to be the pattern one more time heading into Tuesday as we have a slow-moving area of low pressure situated now over the Ohio Valley. In no hurry to move out of here. Doppler Max HD showing you the rain now lifting north of Bowling Green. Got a flood advisory in effect for portions of Grayson and Hardin counties until 7:15 Central or 8:15 Eastern Daylight Time, and it's for the cluster of showers there moving out of the Litchfield area and thunderstorms too, crossing through Big Clifty now heading into western Hardin County. Also watching some showers and storms over the Cumberland Plateau of Tennessee and Clay County, lifting northward toward the Tompkinsville area. Showers too around Burkesville, heading toward Static over in Clinton County. This action lifting north-northeast toward Albany, so places like Monroe, Cumberland, Clinton County, and also Allen County may get wet here in the next little while, and more showers moving towards Scottsville as we speak. Marginal risk up for the lower Ohio Valley right now for most of Kentucky and Tennessee. Level 1 out of 5, so we're not looking at widespread severe here, but there could be 1 or 2 storms approaching the severe limits at least through the early evening, and if those develop, then there could be some strong gusty winds out of 1 or 2 cells. Here's AAA Systems live weather cam. We're looking out to Scottsville Road and into the southeast side of Bowling Green, where we have a mixture of sun and clouds, and temperatures all in the lower 80s for the most part. 82 for E-Town and Campbellsville, 80 right now with partial sunshine over in Glasgow. There's Munfordville at 81 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Just had some showers move through earlier. A little more sun and blue skies showing up in Columbia. Right now, 84 is your temperature, and there is, oh glory, over in Tompkinsville. Clouds on the increase. We just mentioned that some shower activity is rolling in from out of Middle Tennessee that might affect you shortly. 81 is the temperature there. All right, let's put FutureMax Predictor into motion. Showers and storms on a hit-and-miss basis at least through the early part of the evening before fizzling out later. Now, tomorrow we're going to do it all over again. That area of low pressure will be rolling out of Illinois into Indiana. Trailing front that will be working its way out of Missouri closer to our area, and that will ignite a few showers and storms, some with locally heavy rainfall. Once again, you know the drill by now. On Wednesday, I think the action becomes more isolated in nature, however, as somewhat drier air is going to push into at least the mid-levels of the atmosphere for a couple of days. The possibility for rain, it's still on the board, but I think it'll be much more widely scattered Wednesday and also into Thursday. Additional rain for the next 5 days could amount to about 1.25 inches for Bowling Green, same for Evansville. Higher amounts up into parts of Illinois and Indiana. On the Muggy Max Predictor, the needle doesn't move a whole lot the next 5 days. Therefore, don't expect much relief from the Muggies. They're going to be sticking around all the way through the weekend and beyond. Temperatures tonight will fall down into the lower 70s, mostly cloudy skies. Showers and storms scattered about tomorrow. The high temperature a bit warmer at 85. 88 on Wednesday. And note, the hot rods are back in town for a new homestand beginning tomorrow night. Weather could be a factor, but I think less of a factor as we move toward Wednesday and Thursday, with the rain chances declining some before increasing to 40% by Friday, staying there into the upcoming weekend. Highs upper 80s to around 90. It will be humid, by the way. Overnight lows warm and rather muggy in the upper 60s to low 70s. Weather on your FM dial, you can get it each day courtesy of Wovo 106.3. Lauren?
Thanks so much, Shane. We're all online more than ever, so it's important to ensure you're staying safe when banking or shopping. Investigate TV consumer investigator Rachel DePompa joins us with some important reminders to keep you safe from online thieves and this watching your wallet.
Have a different password for every account. Now, I know this seems like a hassle and impossible to do, but set aside some time to do this. If you are still using the original password you created to your social media account, go turn on two-factor authentication now and change that password. If you are using the same password for multiple sites, stop. If a hacker gets it, they will and do try every account they can find attached to your name in minutes. They are fast. Don't use the same password over and over.
You don't want to share those with other sites. So, for example, if you've got your username and password that you use for Facebook or Instagram, you would never want to use those same usernames and passwords for your online banking portal.
Jerry Daly, financial coach with the Virginia Credit Union, says if you are worried about remembering all of these passwords, you can create a password manager or keep them in a document in your locked and secured phone. If you have to write them all down, keep them somewhere safe in your house and do not carry that piece of paper in your purse or wallet. With this Investigate TV Watching Your Wallet, I'm Rachel DePompa.
General Motors is recalling more than 400,000 trucks over an airbag issue. They say the problem lies in inflator components that can fail and cause an airbag to suddenly deploy for no reason. Impacted vehicles include 1,500, 2,500, and 3,500 series pickup trucks manufactured between 2015 and 2016. Not all the trucks produced during that time are part of the recall. So far, all 3 reported unintended airbag deployments happened when no one was inside the truck. GMC and Chevrolet plan to notify owners of the recalled vehicles next month to visit their local dealerships for a free fix. You could be the first of everyday citizens to go to space. Virgin Galactic is teaming up with Omaze for the chance to win a seat on one of the company's first commercial voyages to space. One winner and a guest can rocket more than 50 miles above Earth and experience zero gravity for a few minutes. Each $10 donation is equivalent to 100 entries, and that money supports the nonprofit Space for Humanity, which aims to expand access to space. Virgin Galactic hasn't released details on when the flight will take place. Virgin CEO Richard Branson successfully returned from a test flight on the VSS Unity on Sunday.
Thunderstorms moving out of Grayson County into western Hardin County are quite intense, producing some blinding downpours. Flood advisory in effect for that activity until 7:15 Central this evening. Lauren?
Thanks, Shane, and thanks for joining us on WBKO News at 4. More local news coming your way at 5.